This is my daily driver Porsche, and I'm about to cut it in half. By chopping the top off and building a custom bed, we'll create the ultimate luxury pickup truck. First, let me show you how all this started. Cayenne truck renders have been floating around the internet for a while, and since I'm the dumb idea guy, I thought, why not bring the render to reality? This will be the ultimate overlanding tow rig for the Baja Miata. We'll chop right below the windows from the B-pillar back, pull this top off, build a super strong truck bed, then shove a slide-in camper in there, and drive it all 1,000 miles to SEMA, the biggest car show on Earth, in less than 3 months. Can it be done? We turned a Miata into a snowmobile, a car into a boat, a Ninja into a three-wheeler, but this is our most ambitious project to date. Let's get started. The roof tent has served us well camping and bringing the Miata places throughout the years, but it's gotta go.
It's gonna look naked without it, but pretty soon it'll look even more naked because it won't have the whole second half of the car.
Oh, my poor car. She's gotta get chopped up. That's just the way the Rad Factory does it.
It's only fair that it finally has its time to shine.
Oh, this better work, you guys. We are really in uncharted territory here.
This might be a world's first. I haven't seen it on the internet.
As far as I know, it's only AI renders, and we are the first Porsche Cayenne truck.
This car doesn't have a frame like a traditional truck. That means that the roof is actually part of the structure of this car. We have to make sure that when we cut this in half, it doesn't just snap in half. Without a frame, it could do some weird stuff.
All right, we gotta strip this interior. Step one, complete. There's a lot of weird stuff in here. I think this is a CD player. Oh, look at that. Yeah, 5 or 6 disc CD changer. Never used it once. I wish I still owned some CDs. I'd try this out, but I don't, so trash.
All right, time lapse.
There were some moments in there where I was just very briefly regretting what we're doing. I mean, this literally is my only daily driver other than the Baja Miata that I'm gonna have to take to work. I love this car and I just want it to continue to be useful, but we got it stripped out and it's starting to look like a truck already.
There's a decent amount of room for activities. Couple first thoughts. The wheel wells are actually inside of this edge, which is unbelievably big. Like, that is huge because this is what sets our width, right? Also, we've got a lot of weird space in here that once we have our bed sides in, I wonder if we can make those toolboxes like all the new cars have, fancy toolboxes in the rear end. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that idea. No wasted space. I mean, this is gonna be a work truck. We used Cayenne Pepper like a work truck already, and we're just getting started.
The wheels are already turning. I can already see so many different options for how we turn this into a truck.
I will point out to you guys that the wheels are turning after we've already started the project and not before. We came up with the idea and just started ripping stuff apart. That's the Rad Factory way.
There are 2 ways to learn stuff. There's book learning and then there's street learning. And this is street learning. I had to get my eyes on it, see what I'm actually working with. So I'm excited. This is the fun part for me.
Yeah, it's very fun for Gavin that doesn't have to chop up his car.
You've got 7 cars. I'm not that sad for you. They don't all run.
You counting the Miata boat, the death cart that we blew up, off-road car V1 that has no motor, the new parts car that also has no motor.
And you got jet ski scooter. You're gonna be fine. We gotta keep stripping this thing down, but we're getting close, and that gets me all kinds of jazzed up.
Be very careful around the side curtain airbag. Don't blow that up in your face.
I agree. I would hate to have that hit me.
You excited about the Porsche truck, Mika? Mika loves going for rides and sticking her head out the window, so in theory, she'll love the Porsche truck.
We're there, I think. I don't see a single thing.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Got it. The headliner is a big deal because this we're still gonna need it for the front of the car. We're gonna have to cut it and reupholster it and make it nice.
There's one more clip. Ow, stabbed myself. There we go.
There we go. Oh, there's one more wire. We did it. The car is basically stripped.
Woo! We could Rad Factory it and cover this with purple cheetah print or something.
What do you guys think? Should we go normal or should we go as wild as possible?
And just make this full mid-2000s pimp my ride, absolutely bananas.
And we'll get it from Temu, you guys know.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are seeing the vision now. This is exactly 4 foot wide. As long as we get a camper that's made for a Tacoma or a Ranger, it'll definitely fit right in there.
I mean, this is gonna be sick, dude. I think it's gonna work. Like, every moment that passes, I'm getting more confident. Once we weld this door in, like if we do a good job on that, this is all super duper structural and it'll help hold everything together. It's gonna be really strong, actually. I'm genuinely getting stoked.
This already is a pretty good off-road rig, but we're gonna go even further. We're gonna get a lift, bigger tires, rock sliders, wild bumpers. This is gonna be a heck of a build. You guys don't wanna miss anything. Make sure and subscribe. Here's one thing we didn't account for is the sunroof back here, which if our wall is here, that's gonna be an issue.
Unfortunately, I had thought of that. It's not gonna be like a full sunroof anymore. I will say though, your AC is gonna work like a dream now. Let's get these airbags out.
Turns out we got a little excited on the stripping of the car and we may have stripped out a little bit too much. Did a little bit of test driving. It turns out the door lock stopped working, the hatch handle stopped working, the radio stopped working, and we have lots of airbag lights. Try and fix all that first before we start doing the cutting.
As with Porsche builds comes Porsche problems.
All right, we found the key fob sensor and plugged that back in. Unfortunately, there is a problem.
We have to do some fancy reset code, which we have to have some fancy Porsche software for. So hopefully we can get that taken care of. We also plugged in all of our radio stuff again. Because this has fiber optic in the radio system, it's actually pretty crucial we don't jack any of this up. So we're gonna see if we can get the radio to turn back on.
Critical moment here. Did we fix the radio? Driving around in silence was not good. Amplifier CD changer not available. Stuff because it's not like critical for this exact moment, but we also don't want to save this till the very end after we've already cut stuff and lost all the sensors. Do we need that CD changer plugged in, you think?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Dylan, what are you doing?
Well, I haven't had CDs in like a decade like everybody else, so I threw away the CD changer and it turns out it might be critical for the stereo system, so we got to go digging through the trash. Luckily, the trash guy didn't come yet. Hey, here it is. And it's not even, oh, it's only a little dirty. There's some muscle milk.
Everyone's got to beef up their sound systems. That's one way to do it. I can tell you one thing, that if this stupid CD changer is actually required, I'm going to make us some dope mixtapes. Because if we're going to lug this stupid thing around, you know I'm going to make it worth our time. All right, we're plugged in. Let's see if it works.
Oh! No, we have radio.
And just like that, they were demonetized.
Copyright. We have radio though.
That's so crazy. All this crap has to be plugged in just for the stupid radio to work. You already heard me say it. I'm gonna have to make us some mixtapes.
Who's ready for royalty-free YouTube music on repeat?
I don't know even how I'd get it burned onto a CD.
Right, we're gonna have to order on eBay a CD burner and then make some mixtapes.
So all of this has to get moved to where the cab eventually will be, because this is all just going to be truck bed, so I don't want it just like out in the elements, which means we're probably going to have to fully disassemble this wire loom to try and get everything we can to be in the actual car. So our wall's going to be pretty close to back here, so there will be just like a little bit of floor space behind the seat that you'll never even see or do anything, and we can just make like a nice little spot for it right there. Let's see what this wire loom has to offer, what secrets it has.
I'll be honest, this didn't really cross my mind when we came up with this idea, is the amount of like rewiring and stuff we're gonna have to, relocating wires we're gonna have to do.
This fills me with adrenaline. Like I feel like I'm about to do a cliff jump. Like I know this should be okay, but my heart's like, woo, let's go! Like it's intense. Like we're about to do something pretty ill-advised, but it should work. And that's, I think, why my brain feels cliff jumpy. We are in it now. Like, we are doing something insane, and I'm pretty jazzed up. You do not want to miss this build series. It's going to take a while, but this is going to be one of the coolest builds, maybe ever.
I get no adrenaline. I only have, like, feelings of what have we done?
We've taken a perfectly running car, and we're about to make it run interesting. That's what we do.
That is the Rad Factory way. Gavin's taken one for the team already. What did you do?
So I was pulling on a wire and it finally came loose and the back of my hand hit the sharp edges. I got it cleaned up, but It's a decent cut.
I don't think we're allowed to show that on YouTube. I think some of our previous videos have gotten hurt because of that substance, but it does remind me I did buy some gloves.
Fortunately, all my fingies still work. On the other hand, gonna have to be careful. I thought, oh, we're just pulling wires, it'll be so chill. Not the case. It's a lot of monkeying with stuff, but realistically, this is where we need to take our time. Like if we jack up the wiring on this car and it does something weird forever because of that, we're gonna be really pissed. We just gotta be methodical and make sure we don't break anything, rip anything open, like double check every single thought we have.
This thing's gotta be nice. It definitely still will be my daily driver.
And this is the tow rig. Like the plan is to use the absolute bejesus out of this thing, so it's gotta be reliable, which means we cannot jack up the wiring in this car.
Don't jack this up.
No, anything over here. The next step after this wiring is we make this a permanent truck. Like, there's no other like, oh, we could avoid doing the real thing. Like, it's the real deal as soon as we're done with this wiring.
Some of our last wiring is this third brake light, and then it turns out there's some weird antennas up here hidden under the spoiler.
Hopefully that's it. Like, we shouldn't have too much more to deal with. I'm shocked at how much stuff they put underneath the spoiler.
When we say this car is complicated, this is the kind of stuff we mean. There's so much hidden under the spoiler.
I'm pretty sure this car has more under the spoiler than my entire Tacoma has under the hood. Like, this is crazy. Every time you undo something, you just see like 4 more things that need to go in.
We might be officially stripped of wires. Quite a rat's nest we got there.
It's not ideal, but the important thing to note is all of our major electronics are officially back inside the car. But we're there. We have no more wires that we have to worry about.
Start the car up and make sure it runs. I still have to daily drive this as long as possible.
Yep, well, I got all the grounds put back in, so hopefully we're good to go. Why don't you give it a shot?
I think it will, but it's always good to check. All right, she starts up. That's all we need.
Do we have radio?
Do we have? No radio.
Something got unplugged.
118 degrees, by the way. We picked the hottest week possible to do this build. Gavin was in charge of the wiring, and now he gets to look through all the wires and find out what's wrong with the radio. We had it working, and then he moved everything.
Well, you wanted to cut your car in half, so we had to move some stuff.
Pro tip for next time. Label all your wires when they're connected, and then so when you disconnect them, you know where they go.
Yeah, just gotta find this one connector that goes into our CD changer. Gonna try that.
It's the CD changer again?
Yeah, dude. This CD changer is made by Satan himself.
It's so funny because we went through this. For you guys, it was a couple minutes ago. For us, it was, I don't know, 6 hours ago. This exact same thing, and we did it again.
I still am confused though, because I don't see any connectors anywhere that would even be remotely correct.
You got the CD player plugged in. Let's see if that works. Hey, we've got radio.
So dumb. So needlessly complicated. I mean, most of these wires don't need to be here, but because everything is tied together, they have to be here.
It's getting hot. Gavin's getting frustrated. We need to chop the top off of this thing so that he can get some airflow going so he doesn't overheat himself.
Oh, it's just so much unnecessary stuff that we have to keep now.
This is a luxury car. Like, it has a luxury sound system. That's just what we have to deal with. This is a Porsche truck, not a Ford freaking Ranger.
Oh, stupid CD changer. Well, we at least got the radio running again. We know that it works, so we can keep disassembling the car.
It's time to start working on the doors. This will be our cut line for the truck, so we're going to weld the doors shut. Before we can do that, we got to get the glass out, which means we have to take this panel off. You know we love Porsche engineering, so we got to go ahead and drill out these rivets. Popping this trim off is stressful. This 20-year-old plastic connectors do not like it.
Yeah, no, these things have just been baked in the sun, and they're brittle, and they make bad sounds, and my heart jumps every single time.
This will be back on. We want to keep this in good shape because that's like the whole titanium edition of this car.
It's so bad every time.
And they are braking, just so we're clear. That noise is them braking, and so it's gonna be a whole issue putting this back on.
With rapid approach speed, we are getting to some pretty permanent decisions.
There's no going back. It's Porsche up truck or nothing.
We're getting pretty close to where it might be neither.
Today is the day we chop the beast.
The time is upon us. Let us chop. You've been good to us, and you're about to be better.
The last thing we got to do is measure, mark, and tape where we're gonna cut, and then it's time to break out the Sawzall.
We're making decisions that will or will not haunt us forever. Right now. We got to choose where our cut line's gonna be. It's all been theory until right now.
Theory is definitely just run this line right here, but then it will diverge somewhere around here. It's got to be very level for the camper to go on it, right?
No, the camper actually just rests on the box. It doesn't actually rest on your like bed rails. Still want it to look nice, and that means it needs to be straight and level, or at least pretty close. Dirtier than I remembered. Don't worry, this is all getting a wrap, so those of you who are like, oh no, you're worried about the paint, we're about to cut the car in half. Don't worry about it.
This is the defining moment for our truck bed. Where are we going to put it? Where are we going to make this cut line? Where is it going to end up? We need a little bit for the headlight, or I mean the tail light, right?
Yeah, so I'm picturing the top of this piece of tape. I don't love that it comes down.
I think we're gonna, yeah, we want this up a little bit more.
Let's just 1 inch give us. That's still not level. It almost needs to be like up there. Looks about right. Try just a little bit lower.
So this is where we're thinking for our back wall to be. We should measure and make sure that's as close to 6 feet.
Yep, that is 100% the next move.
It is pretty critical for the bed to be as close to 6 feet as possible, because that's how long the in-bed campers are.
So that's 6 feet.
So 6 feet, we are sticking out past the bumper. Yeah. So it'll be more like a 5 foot 2 inch bed. This is the first like permanent thing we're doing is carpet. So small, but a big step.
I'm pretty sure that was permanent. And hopefully we can just kind of fold the carpet forward, because we're gonna land about here with the cab. So hopefully we can just keep the stock carpet back there. The real goal here is not to cut any of these wires or my hand again.
Yep.
All right.
Time for the door handle delete. What do we got to do?
It looks like there's some screw G's here on the back side that we have to get to from the front side. All right. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's screwed in with the world's tiniest screws.
We got the tiniest screws out. That didn't help us much though.
We're still struggling.
Old Rad Factory would just rip it out. We're trying not to be old Rad Factory. We're trying to do, oh, as he just breaks it. I was gonna say we're trying to use precision here.
I mean, that's still more precision than we normally use. There's something else holding this on? Huh. Oh, that was the right sound. Oh my gosh. Come on. This is crazy. I've never had a door handle this hard to take off. This is crazy, dude.
Oh, is that it? Hey, nice.
This door handle has more moving parts than most dirt bikes.
Got the door handles deleted. Now it's time to mark the roof for cutting.
Yep. Now's the big moment.
The point of the holes in the roof is to just be able to transfer where we want the line from down below to the top. We'll string some tape between those lines. Oh boy, it's getting real. It is almost that time to start cutting this bad boy. This line has to be perfect. There is no room for error.
There we go. That's where we're cutting. You can see the tape. That'll be wild looking.
It's really happening. Now is the time. And it's exciting, but also really nerve-wracking. I know people have turned cars into utes before, but nobody has ever done a Porsche. We are moments away from a Porsche up truck. We chose to work on a black car in 100-degree weather. We are geniuses.
Well, we could be in an office, so. I'm pretty sure that's how all the Olympians are doing their powerlifting.
The moment we've all been waiting for. This is years in the making, months of planning, days of work, Now we're chopping this thing into a truck.
Yep, you're gonna need the Sawzall. Just making sure everything's still cutting nice and straight.
How you feeling?
So far so good, really. It's definitely, there's a couple tricky spots just due to the geometry of the inside of the car, but trying to do anything that's going to require a bend or like it's going to just be way harder to cut through first and then come back and do the easy bits. Pretty much 100% of this cut. Now we want to go make some cuts on everything else and get it close while we still have some structural integrity just to keep things from vibrating. We're in it now, baby. Found something I didn't like. We're gonna leave that, then we're gonna match it on this side so that all 4 corners are pretty much cut, and then we just start connecting all of our lines and it should come right off. This is the craziest thing, like wild. The corner is officially off.
All right, you guys, we are 1/6 of the way there.
We've got 2 loose corners, and then it's just our B-pillars. And then we can literally just pick this up. And we'll get to see what this looks like for the first time. Not AI, not some dude's rendering, not just a thought on Twitter or Reddit. Like, this is actually gonna be the first time someone's cut a Porsche truck. It's not a pickup truck. This is better than a pickup truck. It's a Porsche truck. Dylan, do you know what time it is?
Time for the final cut of the Porsche truck. I'm so excited but nervous, and hopefully it doesn't look bad.
It's gonna look sick as heck. Let's go.
Oh baby.
That should be enough to just get this thing right off the car.
Yeah, that's a 2-person job.
Yep.
A little bit. Oh, it's off!
There's like a 1/4 inch holding this thing on. There we go. Woohoo!
Look at that! Oh my god! What do you think?
I think it kind of looks like one of those mini Countrymans.
I don't think that's what we were going for. We want a badass off-road truck.
It's wild.
Oh, it's wild. It looks a little silly right now. Hopefully you guys see the vision. It's a Porsche truck. Whether it looks good or not is still up for debate. What do you guys think? Leave a comment.
It's very El Camino-y. Like, the front end is very much car, and it's not as boxy as a truck. And so I think that's why it looks crazy. Is like, no one in America buys single cab trucks anymore. Like, maybe 1% of trucks are sold that way. So your brain just doesn't recognize it as a truck.
First drive of the Porsche truck. Can we make it out of the driveway? Gavin was very nervous that the whole thing was gonna just collapse when he finished the cut, so let's see.
Unibody cars don't like being cut in half. Just take her easy, my guy.
All right, how's she look moving?
Proper.
Woohoo! What am I running over? Work truck.
Just nice and gentle. There we go. I'm liking it more and more. Like, there was just such this crazy shock from seeing it at first. Like, now it's starting to like look normal, feel better with my like brain kind of seeing where it's gonna go. Like, it's like the first time you have a beer or sushi. Like, you might not like it right away. You gotta kind of like understand what, like, let it percolate. That's the same thing.
I agree, yeah. The very first glimpse, it's like, what did we do here?
Yeah, dude.
We are in it now. We've got a long ways to go, but we're gonna get there.
Next video, we have to start actually closing this thing in, so you don't want to miss that.
This is gonna be a heck of a series. Thank you guys for watching this one. Make sure and subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the Porsche truck action, and we'll see you next time. Stay rad.
Wide open skies. This is great.